Hi everyone, welcome to Adventures with Raven and Rowley. I'm Raven and this is Rowley. Today I'm taking you with us on a tour of two towns, Saint-Prix and Ferreyres. Both are within an hour's ride of Geneva, Switzerland. 3 months ago I moved from living a nomad life in the desert of Nevada in a 6x12 cargo trailer to a house in Switzerland. This channel is now about my discoveries from the other side of the world. Okay. The playlists for RV living and nomad living from my previous lives are in the notes below. So if you're curious, join us on this journey and continue to watch. We are in Switzerland, so there's a lot of history here. We've been looking for the herstory, most through needlework and crafts, but more on that in another video. So the question is, are the towns just like in the movies, you know, with the rolling hills and the high mountains and the farmland way out in the distance and all that kind of stuff? Anyway, so we went to Saint-Prix. It's a waterfront community. Only the poor used to live near the water, but that was like that in any town because the water was pretty much polluted in most places, like now. Of course, it wasn't only the poor who lived there, though. The wealthy also lived in Saint-Prix, but they tended to live in the hills overlooking the lake. The triangular old town of Saint-Prix is located in a small peninsula in lake that jets into Lake Geneva. The area has been settled since the Neolithic period. In 1234, that's 1234, the chapter of Lausanne decided to dig a moat and turn Saint-Prix and make it into a fortified island to protect the church lands from threats by Peter II, who was Count of Savoy. Peter was the seventh child and pretty much got nothing from his family, so he decided to go get what he wanted, you know. After all, he was royalty, right? Access to the fortified town was via a drawbridge through the still surviving town gate. But the moat is now filled in. A strong castle was built, but all that remains of the chateau is just the tower. A stained glass window in the church shows the original fortified island.
Turn right, then turn left.
Right. Tourist office is that way.
Turn left.
I can imagine living in this little town. This is such a pretty little town. Very well kept. They must have unbelievable tourists. Because this town looks like it's got serious money, you know.
In 300 meters, at the roundabout, take the third exit.
Okay, start. Okay, we're going to take the left. Is that, no, that's not a chicken. There's a bunch. No, I'm talking about on the wall here. Oh, chickens. Yeah, chickens on the wall. I didn't even see the one up, the parrots. Oh, that one. Yeah, I see. Oh, check, it's an owl. Yeah, it's an owl, and it's got the sun and moon on the end. And then there's a star up underneath the sun. Right. That is cool. Cool. And then there's this dragon. Yeah. Check out this dragon. I wonder how old this wall is. This one here had a door in it at one time. I'm totally turned around.
Big fish. I guess this is where the boat stops.
Okay, you can't go on the grass
No grass for you, Rowley.
from June 1st,
From
October
June 1st
3rd,
to October 31st. Yeah.
Otherwise, it's got to be on leash.
Okay.
And we were trying to figure out
it's
where the
gotta be on
grass.
leash. What?
There's the grass is down
Yeah,
here
so-
somewhere. And that's France over there. You want to go down? Let's go down and see.
Oh.
Okay. Come on. Oh, you gotta find how to get out of this town, right?
Yeah.
The second town we went to was Ferreyres. Caves are found nearby showing that people of prehistory lived and wintered there, so it's been in use for a long time. Evidence was also found that Druids lived there before the Romans arrived. Okay. At some point, it became more of a middle-class working people town. Most people who lived there were farmers. Some very wealthy families who were farmers and owned land still lived there for almost 1,000 years. A family living in the same area for 1,000 years. Right now, there are only 309 people currently living in Ferreyres. The Swiss Federal Statistics Office only started collecting data in 1850, and at that time, the highest population then was 625. Okay, what town are we going to?
Ferreyres. Ferreyres.
Okay.
Right there.
Okay.
This is the town hall or the mayory of the town. Swiss, everything is decentralized, so each town have their own little mayor's office, like you see here.
Oh, cool.
Where the town is responsible for its own management and for. So even though this is just a small town of a few hundred people, everything is managed locally
Right.
by us.
There's only a few hundred people living in this
Yeah,
town?
it's, in this town it's about 310 people.
Wow.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Let's walk.
Now,
He's got to pee along the way, you know.
fountain you see here is fed by the source, the local spring water, and you'll see there's several of them because originally this was where people came to get the water to cook, to clean, and they would wash their laundry here. You know, this is set up about in 1873.
Wow.
This is one of the newer ones. The ones further down are even older.
Wow.
And this was the source before we had.
Oh,
This is where they had pipes
come on.
and sewage system. The water
Okay.
was always at the fountain. It was the gathering place to get water, and so it was the place where people went.
That sounds good.
Saw each other and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. It's a pretty little town. So there must be a lot of empty houses here then.
Not really. There is none. The houses are this big because they serve dual purpose. They were mostly farming people, so they stored their feed for the winter and livestock in the same structure.
Oh,
So the farmhouses here are not made from wood; they're made from stone, hay to get you through the winter.
right.
So
That's another.
here's another fountain. This one's from 18 something. We can't stand in the road.
Oh, right. Oh, we get
This
killed.
one is a bit older.
This is 1817. Wow.
So this was an old barn that was empty for a long time, and it just got renovated and made into apartments. But for a long time, it was just an empty barn that no one was using.
Right. And they did a nice job. This old church.
So this is a salle de culte, or the local church,
Mm-hmm.
and it had several duties. It was the church service. Downstairs is the old oven, because people would bake their bread once a month. So above there is the church room, which is not used for
Right.
that, but twice a year now.
Ah,
But originally it was the church room. And in here, I don't have the key, so I can't open it, is the old oven. And there's this huge oven in the back. And what would happen is once a month they would put a lot of wood in it, heat it up, and all the women in the village would prepare their bread.
Right.
And they would come and bake bread for the month. And
Wow.
it would be a kind of like very thick, almost like a dark rye bread, but it's a
Right.
bread that kept.
Right.
Right? It kept. So, you would bake a couple of it, you would sit and you would eat it. And it wouldn't be like the soft kind of chewy bread we have now. It would be a very heavy,
you get your teeth into it kind of
Yes,
thing.
so
Yeah.
it would keep.
Wow. Okay.
But also it provided heat for the church above.
Right. Oh, smart.
You're above the oven, so on Sunday you would be a bit warm.
And
So
it
I
would
don't know if
smell
was once a
good.
month or once a week, but I don't think they did it very often because it required a lot of wood
Right.
to heat up to get it going. And here's another fountain.
Another fountain. Yes. And this is
There's
1864.
2 parts. This one says 1860.
4, it looks like,
Or
maybe.
66.
Yeah.
And this part says
And this part.
1832, which is the older part.
Oops. Maybe over here. See? 1832. Wow. Where does the water come from? Up in the
village,
mountains?
there's a natural spring,
Oh, okay.
and
Ooh.
it's canalized, and it goes into a sort of reservoir where the
Mm-hmm.
water runs through, and the sediment settle at the bottom, and the clean water runs over the top,
All right.
and it comes down to the pipe, and it ends up in the fountain.
Wow.
It's an old system, and it used to
Works.
provide all the water for the village, but it doesn't anymore. So this is typically, it's the old barn, and if you notice this big door in the
Yes.
front is the what is called the porte cochere, and it's where the animals, when you bring the cows and stuff in,
Right.
they would go in. And people would just live in a small part, and the rest of it would be given
Barn.
over to
Yeah.
stuff, because you had to get through the entire winter with your animals with enough food to feed them and everything. So all
Right.
summer long you're
Oops,
you're
come on.
making hay, literally make hay
Yes.
while the sun shines. You're making hay all summer long. And then winter, when you brought the animals in, you had to have enough to feed them during the winter months.
Right.
Until spring, when the first fresh grass grew, and then they would come out again.
So the animals would stay inside all winter?
Not most of it, depending on how cold the winter was, because there would be nothing. If it snowed a lot, there was
Right,
nothing
there's
for them to
nothing.
graze.
Right, that's
So-
true.
And this is what is called the old pressoir, or the old press. And there's a giant millstone in there And I
Okay.
think, again, I don't, if I knew, would have brought the keys up ago. But it has this thing that turn, and it used to press grapes to make wine
Okay.
for the village. So, and there's a one-room schoolhouse here. And
Wow.
one teacher would teach the children of different ages, but they would all
Right.
be in the same
Same
classroom. So I'll
classroom.
show you what was there. It was renovated recently and turned into apartments because we don't do one-room schoolhouses.
Schoolhouses
They all go
anymore.
to regular school. We have buses and stuff. But in
Right.
the old days, the kids lived in the village. They didn't leave the village. They went to school. And that's the entrance. And this would be it. So before, the classroom would be on this level, and the teacher would live upstairs.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So the teacher lived above the classroom, and they taught. And on the other side, there are two outhouses from. I can show you.
Yes.
They're not, of course, used for that anymore. But in the old days, the kids, that they had to go to the bathroom, even in the winter, when it would all be
Right.
very snowy and cold, they would come. And there's the little houses on the side.
Oh, cool. Very cool. Let me go over and see if I can see inside what they look like. They have doors on them. Okay. Oh, is that one open? No, they're all closed.
They're all closed now.
They're all closed and then closed.
The wooden pellets for the heating system.
Oh,
So it got it out, and they put this big thing in there that's full of wooden pellets
right.
that feeds down under here for
Right.
the heating that heats the building.
Oh,
And this is the
okay.
exhaust pipe from the boiler below, because it's heated with wood and not
Right.
oil or gas.
What's this one?
This is also the same thing. You see, it has the same big door,
Yes.
which is where the
It's the
farmers
barn,
would
you're
live,
right.
the barn door, and they'd be like, literally, out of the big structure, there'd be 2 rooms up and 2 rooms down for the family. The kitchen and the living room kind of room,
Right.
and upstairs was 2 bedrooms. One for all the children, one for the
Oh,
parents. Not more than that. No matter how many children you had, they all kind of they were
Right.
all in the same room. So 1 room for the parents, 1 room for the children, 1 room for the kitchen, and 1 room for the living. That was it. And all the rest of the space was given over to the animals and stuff. And if you notice, they all have this because
Yes.
this was a farming village. All the people who lived there at the time were all agriculturists.
Right. Beautiful doors. What was this for? Do you know?
I don't know what that was for. There are all these old things that, nobody remembers why they were originally used. Over time, they just kind of get lost.
Right.
We stop using them in progress, and people die off and they don't remember, oh, we used to put this in that window or that.
Right.
They just...
Look at the scenery. It's gorgeous. Well, there are some really good reasons to visit Ferreyres. It's still a small, traditional Swiss village. Now you should know, they do have high-speed internet and all the other services, good roads and public transportation and that kind of stuff. But they've managed to maintain it so that the town looks like it used to. So at any rate, they haven't been forgotten by the government because they do maintain the roads and everything. Ferreyres is surrounded by beautiful countryside, just like in the movies. It's a great place to go hiking, biking, horse riding, or just go to enjoy the town. I was told that there are waterfalls and lakes nearby that are worth going to see. Unfortunately, we arrived in the evening, so didn't hike anywhere. I was too tired. I wasn't about to. So, overall, I found it a very pleasant, friendly, peaceful town. So to answer the question, are the towns like in the movies? Yes, the old towns are, if you overlook the buses and cars passing by and the planes going overhead and things like that. It would be easy to film in either town without doing any kind of real modifications to a set or anything like that. The towns look like they do in the movies. They're beautiful. The Rowley report. Rowley cut his toe on an escalator. I don't know what it is with him and his feet. But anyway, we got on a tram. To ride on the tram with an animal, with a dog, is $25 a day unless you carry him in a bag, and all we had was a shopping bag. So here's a picture of Rowley on the tram at rush hour with his butt in the shopping bag. Okay. He was quiet. He didn't bark at anybody. He was wonderful, absolutely wonderful on that tram. And didn't complain about his butt being in a bag. Didn't complain about me carrying him off the tram. Nothing. It was just great. Just absolutely great. So the reason we had his butt in the bag, I mean, other than it's $25 a day for a dog to ride if they just walk on and walk off. But if we carry him on in a bag, then he can ride for free. So I'll see you next Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific time. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and thank you for watching. Take care of you and yours, and blessed be.